Now I have the honor to engage former colleague Tonateni Shidhudhu, who holds a unique place in history as the late President Hage Geingob's first ever reporter journalist as president. Shidhudhu's pioneering role not only signifies the dawn of a new era in media relations, but also offers us a first-hand perspective on President Geingob's journey as well as legacy. Throughout his distinguished career as the president's reporter, Shidhudhu has witnessed and chronicled the evolution of media dynamics within the context of presidential governance. Good afternoon, colleague, and welcome to this special tribute broadcast despite the prevailing circumstances.
Good afternoon, Denver, and thank you for having me.
Sunday, 4 February 2024 has been described by many as a dark day in the history of this country. Talk to us about the circumstances under which the news of President Geingob's death reached you.
Thank you, Denver. Indeed, a dark period. Just before I answer your questions, I want to say that I think for the past 2 weeks, the nation has really been going through a difficult time, and as we are trying as we are moving towards the final chapter of laying our president to rest, I just want to wish the family and the former First Lady strength during
We'll take a quick break and then we'll get back to that moment.
The country is also ranked 22nd out of 180 countries in the world. The presidency, in a media statement, expressed delight, saying, as the fourth estate, President Geingob always says that the media is crucial to democracy and plays an essential role in keeping the public informed and government institutions accountable. Therefore, the media is an important pillar of effective governance and should be assured that President Geingob will guarantee freedom of the fourth estate for as long as he is the president of this country. This demonstrates the fact that the strength of Namibia in press freedom is a function of the commitment of President Geingob and the government that he leads to uphold the values of the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia, the statement said. The Press Freedom Index is published annually on the 3rd of May, which is World Press Freedom Day. 2023 year marks the 30th anniversary of World Press Freedom Day. The presidency says the World Press Freedom Day provides an opportunity for the press in Namibia to reflect on its role in strengthening the quality of Namibian democracy by reporting accurately and fairly, consistent with their own self-regulatory code of ethics.
Welcome back. Colleague, you were talking to us about the experience that you had reporting on the matters relating to the presidency, but first there was an important message that you also wanted to share.
I just wanted to wish the family, the nation, but also our former First Lady, Monica Geingob's strength as we move towards this difficult stage of laying our president to rest. And coming back to your question, on Sunday, the news reached me in the middle of the night on Sunday. Of course, I think on Saturday, on the 3rd of February, there was a media release that was issued by the presidency, which described the president as in critical but stable conditions. But of course, we were not ready. I could not even think of that something terrible is going to happen. So I went to bed, and just when I went to bed, a lot of SMSs started coming in, people trying to confirm whether the president is alive or not. And then I kept ignoring some of the SMS, and I was like, people like creating stories. So when they hear, of course, when they hear a person like president is sick in critical conditions, so people start creating stories. So I did not even share anything with anyone because people like creating stories. And later we saw the statement from the president that the president is no more. It was really shocking. I felt really bad because it happened so fast. I know the president was not feeling well, but I just felt we were not prepared. In our imaginations, we did not even imagine that we were going to lose him that soon. President Geingob was a great leader. I had an opportunity, I had a privilege of being closer to him as a journalist at that time. And I have really learned a lot of things from him as a leader. And I had also an opportunity to engage with different people from different backgrounds and different sectors during my journalism career. It's such a big loss to us as a nation.
What is it that you learned from him when you were a journalist at the time?
The one thing that I've learned from the president is a culture of openness. Everybody has described him as somebody who was really media friendly. But when I look at the late president, I was inspired by the way he was open, not only to the media, but just to everyone, to the nation, that he was willing to share information even regarding his health. He was also willing to share information, either what is happening in government or the SWAPO party. He was that person that was open and able to engage anyone at any level. He was also humble. I think we can describe him as a beacon of humility. In my journalism career, when I started covering the office of the President Geingob, when he was just being sworn in, I remember one of the stories that I did on the eve of his swearing in. I did a story of a man who was his driver in Lusaka when he was a director at UNIN. So this is a Zambian guy, just an ordinary man, but he took time to invite him to come and attend his swearing-in ceremony. It was such a beautiful thing. And then you can just imagine how the president was really humble for him to be at that level, but to think of someone, not to say so low, but just an ordinary person who was driving him so many years ago, and really made an effort to trace him, and he came, and I could see, I was looking at the face of that man, the former driver. He was almost amazed also. So he was a really a humble person. He was a person that liked consultation and wanted to be in touch with the communities. You may recall the town hall meetings that he initiated at the beginning of his presidencies. So we went around the countries trying to speak to the communities and understand the issues that they are facing. So those are the traits of a good leader, and we will really miss him, because of what he did.
Such precious memories. Any other story that stands out that you covered during your tenure as a journalist covering the presidency?
Then there are so many stories that I have covered about the late president during the 2 years that I was assigned by the NBC State House. Of course, every story of the president that you will do, it's an interesting story, and this is why most of the time it makes it tops the list when it goes into the bulletin. So, but the one that stood out is the one of his wedding on the 14th of February 2015, when he got married to Madam Monica Geingob. Of course, he was the president-elect at that time. He was not sworn in yet. But it's a privilege for me because I was the only reporter with access. Of course, me and my cameraman, we were the only one allowed to cover that story. And you will understand it was because of security issues. He was not yet sworn in. But the story was so interesting because there was a general expectations from the public to see how the events will unfold. Everybody wanted to see that wedding. So it was almost talk of the nation. So people wanted to see it. I mean, it's something that has never happened before. The president is getting married, or the president-elect is getting married. Everybody wanted to see. And him, as a person, he is known as a flamboyant or somebody with good style. Also, Madam Hage Geingob, and everybody wanted to see that moment. So this story, I take it as one of the best of the stories that I enjoyed writing, because I needed to be descriptive and I needed to describe even to not only to the eyes but to the ears as well, people that were listening on radio, really to get a picture of what transpired at Country Club where the wedding ceremony took place. So, but we did a lot of stories. We went around so many places. We have gone overseas. We have gone to African countries. We have gone all over the corners of Namibia, but that one stood out.
Thank you for sharing that very precious memory. What will you miss most about him, Tonateni?
Last week, or the other week, we went to the memorial service at Casa Rosaria. And as we were coming back, because it was late, we decided to sit somewhere for me and my friend for dinner. And there was this lady that came and was asking, why are you dressed in suits at night? Where are you coming from? And then we told her that we were coming from the memorial service. And then she said something that really touched me. She said, oh, I don't know the president. I don't know him personally, but he also comes here sometimes. So I just see him from a distance. But when I learned about his death, it's like losing a family member. So that's how she described it. She said, it's like I felt really, really empty. So I don't know how I feel. We are going to miss everything about President Hage Geingob. He was a man of people. He was media friendly. This is something that is much spoken about. That personalities or willingness to engage media all the time and sharing information, the personalities of wanting or willing to engage the media all the time, it's something that we are going to miss with, because we need to be, the nation need to be informed, need to be updated what the government is up to, what the president is engaged with. This is what we are going to miss him about. And this is a rich legacy that he is leaving behind. And it's up to us, as current generation now, to uphold that legacy and to make sure that we emulate the good examples that he has done, especially us that are serving in public institutions, especially also us that serving in the positions where we're supposed to provide information to the public. So we need to look at what the president believed in and make sure that we uphold that legacy by making sure that every time when a journalist comes to you, you should be willing to provide that information, because the public has the right to access to information.
Kapandula Unene.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing those very precious memories. Thank you for those insights. And thank you for your continued service to the Namibian nation.
Thank you, Denver.
Our former colleague Tonateni Shidhudhu talking to us about his 2 years as the reporter responsible for the presidency and sharing some very special memories about that time. That brings to an end our broadcast this afternoon with its focus on Hage and the media, exploring the intersection between the presidency and the media.